Everybody, welcome. It is late Monday night, 8:59 p.m. Pacific, and I've been waiting all day to talk about this Brandon Aiyuk video. It is so good. It is so juicy. It is so delicious. Hey, before I do anything else, if you're watching this on YouTube, great. Thank you. Hit that like button. Subscribe to this channel. Appreciate that very much. If you're listening to the podcast, there was just a mailbag that came out Sunday on YouTube and Monday in the podcast feed. Get in the next one. There's going to be another one coming up. To do that, leave a review on Apple Podcast, 5 stars. Leave a question, any question at all. Put it in there, and that'll be in the next Hey Guy mailbag. There's so much I want to break down here. People have been talking all day long. I thought about middle of the day. Should I jump into the Aiyuk? Should I jump into the Aiyuk takes? There've been a lot of them today. Haven't had a chance to watch many of them. I can guess what they were. But for a lot, I say all that to say a lot. I'm going to play the video. A lot of you have seen the video. If you're listening to the podcast, you'll hear the video, I guess. It's Brandon Aiyuk on the couch. A woman next to him is filming, vlogging. You can see her reflection in the phone. She's got a big camera lens on it. So this is professional shit here. He's FaceTiming with Jaden Daniels, his former teammate at Arizona State, now the quarterback of the Washington Commanders, where former Niners front office executive Adam Peters is the general manager. And he said something that got everybody's attention. They said they don't want me. Was he talking about the Niners? Or was he talking about a job at Applebee's? Or whatever thing he did. I don't know, whatever company that was. Anyway, here we go. Here's Brandon Aiyuk's video. For those who haven't seen it, for those who have, let's play it.
Bro, look in the camera, bro. Look at the camera.
He got me vlogging this shit.
Bro, what?
What happened, bro?
They said they don't want me back. I swear.
All right, so Brandon Aiyuk says they said they don't want me back. That's it. I swear. And then Jaden Daniels, I guess, gets fired up because he thinks maybe we're about to trade for Brandon Aiyuk.
Back.
Hold on, let's back this up.
They said they don't want me back. I swear.
All right, so so many things here. Number one, Brandon Aiyuk is way too entertained. Brandon Aiyuk, the first shot is Brandon Aiyuk. He's got his hand on his forehead. Okay. Then as this video starts, he's got his hand over his eyes. Brandon can barely contain himself. As a guy who, I think it's clear, likes to be a little subversive. He's not loud, but there's a part of him that is playful. I think he knows what they're about to film, right? Because this is not just an in the moment filming. They've got a big old lens on this camera. They're filming this conversation, and you hear he's got me vlogging, I think is what the quote was. Hold on, what was it?
Bro, look in the camera, bro.
Look at the camera. Look at this. For those of you watching, for those of you listening, I'm just going to describe to you. We've got a FaceTime, and you can see the reflection. The camera is humongous. Okay, this is a professional camera lens we got on this thing. This is a professional operation. All right. Some of you can tell by the way I'm talking about this what my conclusion is, but let's keep going. Listen to the quote.
He got me vlogging this shit.
He's got me vlogging. So we are here to accomplish a task. We are filming this for a purpose. So Brandon can say, they said they don't want me. Now, just for a split second, consider every conversation you've heard that John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan have had. And then consider every contract negotiation that they've had in their, albeit relatively brief in the grand scheme of time, but we've had enough here with Debo and even Jimmy and Bosa. What do you remember about, let's say, the Jimmy Garoppolo negotiation, trade him, cut him, will they, won't they? What do you remember about that? I'll tell you what I remember. They never stopped complimenting the player. Never stopped. So one thing to keep in mind here is there is not a planet. Let me be very clear. There is not a planet in this known galaxy or the galaxies unknown and beyond our imagination in which anybody employed by the 49ers had a conversation with Brandon Aiyuk and said, we don't want you. So if he's even talking about the Niners in this video, because I will not be shocked if Tuesday or Wednesday it's like Aiyuk's like, oh, no. I was talking about Nike. I was trying to get a deal with Nike. Or, oh, they said they don't want me. I was talking about this golf club. I was talking about Augusta National. I was trying to get into Augusta National, and they said they don't want me. I wasn't talking about the Niners. I was talking about San Francisco Golf Club. It's Charles Schultz. It's the most exclusive club in the world, and they're Charles Schwab, not Charles Schultz. They said they don't want me. So let's put that's a possibility. Maybe his agent said to him, I don't know, man, they may not want you. There is not a world where the Niners told his agent, we don't want him. And if we're going to be, as you know we are here on this show, body language doctors, we're going to watch this and analyze what we see. Aiyuk's body language is hilarious in this whole video. Aiyuk's body language is like, I can't believe we're doing that. His body language looks like, I can't believe we're doing this. His body language looks like, I can't wait for people to take this the wrong way. His body language is like, I am bored. Let's mess with some people. That's what Aiyuk's body language is. This was somebody else's idea. And let's go with it. We got nothing else to do. Let's go with it. This is good stuff. Devin, is his girl's name Rochelle? It says Rochelle, his girl got a full vlogging camera. She looks like she's shooting a doc of 30 for 30. It's a documentary. So we got that. Now, this, Aiyuk's, he's done a few things that have gotten everybody's attention. This comes on the heels. A lot of people, and this happens all the time. You're like, oh, there was this report, there was this report. Talks have stalled. The Niners, Aiyuk. Let's listen on Sunday to what Jeremy Fowler said on ESPN.
The 49ers have negotiated, but things have stalled a bit, which is somewhat common for this time of year. They're going to see what happens over the next 6 weeks leading into training camp. The 49ers want Aiyuk long-term in the fold, but so far they have not been willing to show that they're going to meet the market of wide receiver, which we're seeing these massive numbers. Amon-Ra St. Brown in Detroit, $30 million. Justin Jefferson well above that. Aiyuk believes he's a top guy, and so something's got to give. And so he's worked himself into a top 10 receiver conversation. We'll see. Not a lot of momentum there right now. Not a lot of optimism.
All right. So a few things there. One, Jeremy Fowler says there's not a deal. Things have stalled. He also says, why would anything get done right now?
So Aiyuk and the 49ers have negotiated, but things have stalled a bit, which is somewhat common for this time of year.
Yeah, there is zero urgency right now. Zero. We've talked about this. No urgency at all. None. Fowler added when he posted that video in a tweet, he said, this is tricky because Aiyuk has worked his way to top 10 receiver status. Teams I've talked to are pretty clear on that. And the receiver market has exploded. Teams with good ones are deciding what the threshold is, right? T. Higgins did not get some big contract. And then Daniel Jeremiah added to it late morning in the Pacific time zone on Monday. He said, if Brandon Aiyuk is truly available via trade, don't know, in parentheses, I could make a strong argument that Pittsburgh would be the perfect match. Pittsburgh's a good match. Pittsburgh is a good match. I think we have to acknowledge how wild it would be. The 49ers have made some wild trades. Trading for Christian McCaffrey, and they made some other trades that were not wild, but that were significant. Adding D Ford in the offseason, adding Emmanuel Sanders during the season. This year, Chase Young and Randy Gregory added in the season, adding Jimmy Garoppolo in the season. Not a lot in their history has them trading away Pro Bowl level receivers right before the year while they're trying to win a championship. And it would be not just out of character for them, but it would be wild for really any team in their position to trade a player away who has, I don't want to say this little leverage, but Brandon Aiyuk is slated to make $14 million this year, which is a significant raise for him. Now, maybe he believes that he can get to a team that will immediately pay him more. And obviously, if he were to get traded, he would immediately get paid more. But it would require the 49ers to give in. And I just don't see the incentive here for them to give in. What do they gain? They get a guard from the, people are throwing out like, oh, you can get a player from the Steelers. You getting a draft pick? Well, you can get a draft pick in the draft next year. Why would you trade Brandon Aiyuk? Even if the Steelers were like, you know what? Fine. We think Brandon Aiyuk is worth a first round pick. I got to say, even I'd be like, oh, well, actually, that's kind of attractive. Whoa. And then somebody goes, whoa, guys. We're trying to win a Super Bowl this year, aren't we? And someone else is like, yeah, but a first round pick, I mean, he's a good player, but Pittsburgh, they're not making the playoffs, right? Russell Wilson, they're kind of a mess. They're not. Well, they got Arthur Smith. I mean, the worst thing you could do, we get a pick in the 20s and you don't win a Super Bowl because you traded Aiyuk. It just seems crazy. DeForest Buckner was a player the 49ers traded. That's a good goal. Traded away before the draft, not after it. So it just doesn't make any sense. And he knows it doesn't make any sense. That's why he's making this entertaining video. I mean, I'll say this for Aiyuk. Good at content. I mean, he's sharp. He's got it. It doesn't take much. I don't know where I went.
The 49ers have negotiated.
I'll get rid of that. It doesn't take much to get our attention. And that's interesting. But he was very careful not to say anything specific about the Niners. I don't know if his agent's telling him to do it. But we had Deebo Samuel actually request a trade. We had Nick Bosa much closer this season, not show up and cost a lot more. How far is Brandon Aiyuk willing to take this? How far is he willing to wait? How long is he willing to wait? How many fines is he willing to take? And, to what degree is he willing to battle with them? I think the Niners are a bit of a victim. No, that's not the right. The Niners have won a lot of contracts. And if you're a player or an agent doing a deal with the 49ers, you're very aware of that. That at the end of the day, they get to kind of win. And you get paid, but you kind of lose. Now, you ultimately win because if losing means making $40 million, that's a pretty good loser. But, I think that the Niners are very sensitive to people feeling like they always beat the player in these negotiations, because then you could end up in a situation where the player feels like you have to overcompensate a little bit because they don't want to look like the sucker and their agent doesn't want to look like the sucker. And you're looking around going, if Brandon Aiyuk signs for $26 million a year, he's going to be so rich, and he'll be set up to be even richer in the future because it'll put him in a position to be the key skill player of the Brock Purdy era, which is we're entering the Brock Purdy era. When Brock Purdy gets paid, though, we're really in the Brock Purdy era. So all these other guys will fall away, and then it'll be Brandon Aiyuk's time, right? And so if he does a deal for $26 million a year or something along those lines, people will say like, good deal for the Niners, because we've talked about how he wants 30, he wants 30, he wants a 31, he wants AJ Brown. He's got to get more than Amon-Ra St. Brown. Amon-Ra St. Brown, all of that kind of stuff. And now it's to the point where if he takes a deal that will make him very wealthy, but will pay him quote unquote only $26.5 million a year, let's say, the story's going to be that Niners won, because we've spent, 2.5 months conditioned to like, 31 is what it's going to take for Aiyuk to win. And then it's going to be a deal that he could have got a month and a half ago. He doesn't want to do that. Every year they're a weird spot. And I have dismissed the possibility that it's a locker room problem for them. I have dismissed the possibility that this is the thing that, derails their Super Bowl hopes, in terms of everybody feel, kind of the disease of me that Pat Riley once coined. But what could really hurt them is if Brandon Aiyuk's not ready to play. The good news for them, they're really talented, but they still need this guy. Ian says $26 million won't get it done after the Jefferson deal. John says Niners and BA are down to the last $2 million per year. We're near the finish line. We probably are near it is more likely that we are near the finish line than he's about to get traded. Even though this has happened repeatedly with Niners deals, where it feels like we are light years away. We are light years away from the finish line, and then it gets done. But at some point, you do injure the team a little bit when you wait till the last minute to get it done. Comment: Pittsburgh has been linked to our receivers since before the draft, and it keeps happening. I don't know if it means that. I mean, people just keep saying it. Does it actually keep happening, like for real? I don't know. Yeah, maybe they've been calling. I mean, Michael Lombardi said a few weeks ago, whatever it was, that there were real conversations with the Steelers and the Niners. He didn't know for who. He didn't know if it was Brandon Aiyuk or Deebo Samuel, but he thought there were real conversations with the Steelers. Comment: I need that vlogging camera he has, but I bet it's pretty expensive. Well, the lens is really, the camera's expensive. The lens is really what takes it to the next level. But yeah, it looks expensive. He's making content and putting it out there. Comment: his girlfriend seems to be enabling him. I remember when they won the NFC Championship game, she was screaming, "This is all because of you." And then right after the Super Bowl, she said, "This is the last time we step foot in Levi's." It's a good negotiation tactic. Comment from Andrew: scrutinize this like the Zapruder film. You guys know I love to go very deep on this type of stuff. Try to analyze every little twitch. If you're listening to this and you haven't watched it, type in Aiyuk video and it'll come up immediately. And go watch that body language for yourself. And tell me, Aiyuk is like an SNL guest host in this video, who can't keep a straight face while Will Ferrell is cracking him up, or whoever, Pete Davidson. He's like Jimmy Fallon in every sketch, just breaking up, like too much. Like, does he even buy this sketch? And Aiyuk doesn't feel like he buys the sketch. His body language is fantastic.
Bro, look at the camera, bro. Look at the camera.
Jaden, he's saying, "Hey, Jaden, look at the camera. You're on camera. Just so you know, we're recording this."
He got me vlogging this shit.
Bro, what?
What happened, bro?
They said they don't want me back.
Who would say that? Why would anybody say that? This is exactly the thing I always used to think. Like, if I was in the position that these guys are in, 1,000% I mess with everybody. Why wouldn't you? You're sitting around. He's watching Sports Center. He's eating like some rice and ground beef or something and peppers. And the hell, let's give it a shot. Aiyuk for Zay Jones. Michael says it's immature. Be a man, not a child on TikTok. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they're goofing around. Like, it's so meaningless. And, you know, I will say, if I were to play devil's advocate here, and if I were his agent, I wouldn't be telling him to do this stuff. But if I were to play devil's advocate, I'd say, you're bored. Like, I've watched this stuff play out with Debo. That was actually contentious. And in the end, none of it mattered at all. Like, it all worked out. So I understand people get fired up about this. There's so much money on the line, money that, you know, everybody would happily take. You know, so it can be it's a little emotionally charged from that standpoint. I think I hear it a lot from people, like, hey, stop being a child and you know, take the money. We'd all love to have this money, but I do think it's pretty standard, whatever industry you're in. Your whole mindset resets. This is what this other person makes, so this is what I need to make. This is what the going rate for our job is. I'll be honest, it doesn't really bother me, just because I think it's pretty normal. I think most people let's see what Brock Purdy's contract situation looks like. Hey, Brock, you were just on a tractor the other day. Shouldn't you be happy with $41 million a year? You'll make every penny of it. Shouldn't you be happy with it? Shouldn't you be happy with it? You know, but that's not the way any industry, for the most part, works. You think about whatever line of business you're in. If there's somebody who you're just as good as, and they're making twice as much as you at your own company, but you're making good money, you're going to say, it's fine. I got enough what I need. Maybe some people would, but for the most, people don't. And I don't blame. If you're sitting there, you're doing the same work and you think you're worth just as much or more, you want to go get yours. So, like, I know it's not the prettiest part of the business, but it is a business, and that is business. And the owner's making a ton of money. They've got it. Your teammates, everyone's making a lot of money. The coach is making a lot of money. The parking lot is stacked. I get it. I really do. I mean, there are times when guys are a little, you know, immature to the point that it's damaging. So I think Aiyuk stuff's pretty innocent. The Chad comment. This is Aiyuk's version of asking for a trade. He's just trying to get a little more from the Niners. Do you remember when he tweeted at Mike Tomlin and said, "They say we look alike"? He is the most playful instigator I think we've seen in a long time. Pretty playful. The Bosa stuff, you just heard nothing. The Debo stuff got contentious. The Jimmy stuff was weird. A.J. Brown got bad. He got traded. Aiyuk's making TikToks and can't even keep a straight face while doing it. I think it's pretty harmless. The harm comes in if this team is not ready. It's a different team. Comment from Knees. He said in another interview he did it on purpose to mess with people. I know. Like, he said it. He told us. He told us. I think part of this, you got to look at it like it's the middle of June. We're still in the first half of their 40 days off. Nothing gets done this time here because there's no urgency. They want him back. They're a better football team with him. And I think the most important part to remember is just it hurts their team to trade him right now in 2024. Let me play this here. Is this a good comment? BA's probably nasty on the golf course. Yeah, I'd like to see Brandon Aiyuk on the golf course. He may be. Third string all pro comment. Brock's contract signing is going to be a breath of fresh air. Well, really? Why is it going to be a breath of fresh air when you're paying $60 million to your quarterback? By then it'll be a smaller percentage of the cap. You're saying because it's going to be drama free? All Brock wants is a tractor? Comment. I say comment for the people listening, so they know it's not something I'm saying. Comment. People forget these are 20-something-year-old guys, LOL. We act like they're 50-year-old CEOs. Well, they're definitely CEOs because they themselves are major corporations. But it is something that I have, you get older, you learn. And you realize how stupid you were when you were young or younger. Still stupid now, but maybe a little less so or in a different way. But I was talking to somebody not long ago, and we had both talked to a person, and I was talking to him. I said, what do you think of him? And I said, I like him. He's I could be critical, but it's just would be the same stuff somebody probably said about me when I was 21 years old. So now Aiyuk's mature, and I think he's having. Aiyuk is not some 21-year-old dummy. He's a mature guy. He's a smart guy. He's a thoughtful person. He's introspective. And to me, what I see is not a guy about to get traded. I see a guy who knows that all he can do is sit around and wait for it to work out. That's body language doctor here. That's me. Just Mike says, no one here is paying attention to the fact that the guy in the FaceTime is smiling super hard. This is all part of the game. Yeah. Jane Daniels, he's like, hey, man, all right, I'm going to FaceTime you. I'm going to say they said they don't want me. And then Jay's like, why don't you say they hate me? Like, no, I'm just going to say they don't want me. Okay. And then you say something else. And then, yeah, maybe Aiyuk's making social media money too. Well, all right. I'm glad I got that in today. This video might have done better if I did it in the middle of the day. Rode the wave, but I didn't feel like it. Mama! Let's get Jane Daniels' mama in here. Where's this clip? I love his reaction.
I swear. What?
What happened, bro?
They said they don't want me back.
I swear. Who said? Applebee's? So good. Robbie says this is like one of those Instagram videos that is 100% staged. Yeah, hey, well, what do you do for a living? Oh, you're an actress? Oh, okay, right on. This is a $450,000 car. Have I seen any movies? Do I want to get in the car? Maybe. I love that guy, by the way. Oh, okay. Andrew asked, guy, have you been to Japan? I want to go for my birthday. No, never been. I did watch Shogun and Tokyo Vice. And Drop of the Gods. Big fan of all of them. Everyone's going to Japan right now. Everybody's going to Japan. Japan is hot. So let me know if you go to Japan. Comment from John. They're playing 4D chess. Are they? Hey, I love your car. What do you do for a living? That guy's that I respect that guy's hustle. All right. People are recommending Japan. Okay, that's it. That's a quick little something. Just want to get the take. Just want to get the take on the record. I will say, I'll add one more thing. Brandon Aiyuk in Washington would interest me more than Brandon Aiyuk in Pittsburgh. You'd probably rather trade him to Pittsburgh just in case Jaden Daniels is legit. You're like, you trade him to Pittsburgh, you're like, he's probably not going to be an all-pro. I know everyone likes the fit, but Russ. I mean, you just got to get the best deal, but you'd prefer if a guy doesn't go ball out and make you look bad. But I don't think it's going to come to that. Okay. Thanks for hanging, everybody. That's a quickie, and I will talk to you soon.